If I got 30% growth in the next 5 years, I'd be through the moon. But that sort of growth is just incredible. And that was the last time the market was at the stage that it's at right now. G'day, it's Benny and Simon here from Pumped on Property. Now, in today's video, we're going to talk about something super exciting to us, which is 10 reasons why we think you should start to have a bit more of a look at the Brisbane market. Now, some of these things are simple and some of these are game changers, and we hope you can take this information and go and invest with some more confidence, or potentially reach out to someone like us to help you get into the market sooner. Now, the first reason I love Brisbane at the moment is because it has been relatively flat in most suburbs further than 10 k's away from the city for the last 10 years. As an opportunistic investor that likes to buy more at the bottom of a cycle than at the very bubbly top, that's a huge motivator for me. Like, there's legitimately some suburbs we've been looking at and buying at the moment that have grown by less than 0.5% per year for the last 12 years, which when you take out inflation is a big fat zero, and I like that.
Oh, hell yeah. Now, I love the fact that it's the third largest capital city in Australia. Now, population to me speaks, it is one of the biggest drivers for capital growth. The fact that Brisbane's the third largest is a huge benefit.
More people, more money, more jobs, more infrastructure, and more cash going into those beachside and inner city locations as well. The third thing that we're always harping on about is these long-term property population and money movement trends. And so the third thing that we love is, based on our looking back at previous cycles, places like Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, etc. seem to do much better in the second half of the cycle after the mid-cycle that we've just gone through. So we've done videos on the long-term real estate cycle, which you can check out on our YouTube page, but that's a big one. I think we were doing some data crunching before using RP and Homely's data, and between 2020 and 2018?
2000.
Jesus, what am I saying?
The start of the new millennium.
2000 and 2008, sorry. Brisbane went up by 118%, which is insane. If I got 30% growth in the next 5 years, I'd be through the moon. But that sort of growth is just incredible, and that was the last time the market was at the stage that it's at right now.
Yeah, that was the second half of the previous real estate cycle, which is important to know as well. Now, the other thing is the population growth. Now, we've looked at some information from the ABS, and what they actually broke down is that Brisbane or Southeast Queensland gets 25% of Australia's population and job growth. That's huge. In the same article, they were breaking down the fact that between Melbourne, Sydney, and Southeast Queensland, it takes up 75% of the Australian population and job growth, which is massive, and they believe this is going to continue in the future as well.
Why we like that is because if 75% of Australia's population is going to be within about 2,000 k's of each other, it's just a very high concentration of wealth, one very easy to commute band across Australia. So that's why we like those markets in particular, and we just follow the trend. Now, from that, one other thing we like about Brisbane, which I sort of already touched on, is just affordability.
Yeah.
There are some suburbs close to the city and on the beach that are way over $1 million already. But then there's some suburbs within dead set 20 k's right now that are still $280,000 to $400,000. And I love that. Like, I love the fact that people are earning good money, that they can afford to pay good rent returns, but the prices are still so subdued. And when you look at the comparable distances from like a Sydney or a Melbourne, you might be looking at 700k to 1.4 mil in these suburbs that are 300k on the ground right now up here. So that shows me that there's a big value gap between the cities, and potentially over time that could sort of fill itself in a bit.
Now, one thing that I really like to look at is vacancy rates. As an investor, you don't want to have your property vacant for any time, but it's always going to be a reality. But right now, what we just read from SQM's update, the vacancy rates in Brisbane are at 1.5% as of February 2021. And we're looking in suburbs where the vacancy rates is currently below 1%, which actually indicates a severe undersupply of rental properties. And people are feeling this in a lot of different parts of Australia right now. I know Perth is just booming in terms of the rental market. The Sunshine Coast is going crazy, and certainly some parts of Brisbane. And this is awesome as an investor because along with those property prices being flat, solved those rental increases in Brisbane. So now investors are starting to be able to get a little bit more rent return.
You know, I've seen it in literally the last 3 months. Some rents in some suburbs have gone up from as much as $20 to $80 a week on a single home. So that's a positive thing. You know, with interest rates being so low, it helps me maintain a healthier cash flow position and reduces my risk. So that's why we like that stuff.
Now the next thing is infrastructure. Typically what happens after a mid-cycle slowdown in the global real estate cycle is massive infrastructure spending, and we're finding that Brisbane is getting unprecedented levels of government spending on infrastructure right now.
The next few years look incredible. We're looking at CBA's report on the coming infrastructure in Australia, and we're talking like 2% of GDP, like an unprecedented amount of extra spending, which is going to create jobs. According to Commonwealth Bank, will reduce the unemployment rate to 5% by the end of 2022. And we've got like the Brisbane Metro, which is as big a project as the Harbour Bridge Tunnel was for Sydney. We've got the airport that's just been upgraded at the moment. We've got the M1 and the M6s that are being redone. Everywhere you look, there's stuff happening. There's a bunch of really large private developments down on the water there, creating really usable, functional, like mixed living / retail commercial opportunities too. It's kind of exciting.
Oh, it's amazing. And I think what I love about Queensland and Brisbane is I feel as though they're a lot more proactive than sort of reactive compared to what Sydney's like. I remember living in Sydney and it just always seems like they were 10 years behind with the infrastructure, but Brisbane is like a little bit better. Not the best, obviously, but a little bit better.
I drive to Sydney now and it's like we go to Cronulla or the northern beaches where our families are, and it's like you're looking at 2 lanes into and out of the city both ways, and it's a city of 5 million people and it's going to be 10 million in 27 years according to the ABS. And I'm like, at least Brisbane's got 6 lanes into and out of the city in all directions basically now, or that's what they're working towards over the next few years. And we still get traffic. I'm like, what are these people in Sydney and Melbourne doing all day? Like, you know what I mean?
Now, the funny thing is, the next one that we want to talk about is the migration north. Now, a lot of people from New South Wales and Victoria, in particular Sydney and Melbourne, are coming up north. And I guess it's because they're sick of sitting in that traffic.
They want 1-bedroom apartments without being able to go outside.
Exactly. So I think, you know, I'm probably talking to 15 to 20 investors every single week at the moment. And there is a lot of those people that are looking to move up north, either to purchase their own homes or to purchase investment properties and get out of the rat race of Sydney and Melbourne and move up to, you know, Brizzy or Gold Coast or the Sunshine Coast, where you've got a lot more lifestyle based. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Like a lot nicer lifestyle with the beach culture and everything like that, but you still got Brizzy as that kind of big city feel.
Without a doubt. I think one of the important ones, and it probably should have been the first thing, but we thought about it late, is just some of these updates we've been getting from the likes of Westpac and Commonwealth Bank now. CBA is expecting houses in Brisbane to do 9.7% this year, 6.5% next year. So somewhere between 16 and 17% growth in the next 2 years is what they're predicting. And what we're feeling on the ground is we've just seen February being the strongest month in the last 20 or almost 30 years, I think, for Australia-wide house price growth. In the last quarter, the houses in Brisbane, I think, went up by 3.8% between January and March 2021. Now, that's huge, because what it does is it creates a flow-on effect of this wealth creation effect. And as people start to feel wealthier, they start to feel more positive. It starts the economy going again, more discretionary spending, a little bit easier quality of life for those people that are investors or are owner-occupiers, because there's this feeling that things are actually going to be okay. And after 2020, I think we kind of need that. Like, it was a heavy year. It's nice to sort of see things trending in the right direction again.
Yeah, so it's not one silver bullet that we like Brisbane. It's a combination of a lot of these different factors. There's probably another 10 that we absolutely love as well. But just wanted to talk to some of the most important ones that we really like. You know, people moving into the city, jobs being created, new infrastructure going in is just a beautiful, beautiful thing for the property market.
Yeah, and I'm like, what does someone like CBA or CoreLogic or RP Data or Westpac Bank have to lose by making such bold predictions? Like, I like the fact that those super conservative institutions are saying such nice things about the city that we're investing in at the moment. And, we're excited for all of those clients that bought there in the last 5 years and, the people that will help to buy there over the next 3 or 4. So thank you. Please stay safe. Check out what Heron-Todd White's saying about it, what SQM's saying, what CoreLogic, what CBA is saying. Definitely don't just take our word for it. We just like to collect the data and share it with you. And whether you go there on your own over the next few years and smash it on your own, we wish you the best. The rule is stay close to the city, definitely stay in houses or close to the beach. But for those small number of people that we take on each month, if you are seriously looking at Brisbane and would like a hand, please reach out via pumpedonproperty.com, book in a complimentary strategy session with someone in our team, and we can talk about where you are, where you'd like to be, where the market's at, and then you can take those suburbs and that information and go and do it on your own, or maybe you can come on board with us and we can have a bit of fun. We can educate you on the $250 million worth of property we've bought in Brisbane in the last 5 years before everyone else was looking at it, and you can leverage off that experience and get a great result. But either way, we wish you all the best, and please stay safe during this hopefully pretty exciting year.
Hell yeah.
Sweaty. So sweaty. Oh, that's good.